Pluribus is one of the weirdest, most confusing series I've ever seen. However, it was also extremely entertaining and thought-provoking. So if you're looking for something that's mindless to watch, or you're one of those annoying, I'm just going to scroll through my phone while I'm watching TV type of person, this show is not for you. Imagine for a second you wake up one day and you find out that almost everyone on the planet has been absorbed into one shared collective consciousness, like a hive mind. But somehow you're one of the only people left who didn't join the club. So that's basically the premise of Pluribus, currently streaming on Apple TV. An alien virus causes something called the joining, and almost everyone on Earth becomes part of this calm and happy collective consciousness, known as the others. It's a little more complicated than that, but that's the easiest way to describe it. You ever watch Star Trek: The Next Generation? They're like the Borg, except less robotic. And the others are not violent. They're actually weirdly accommodating to the few people who didn't change. Obviously, because they're trying to persuade these people that joining the hive mind will make them blissfully happy. So they cater to all their needs. They say they're just there to bring peace and love and end violence and save humanity. So there are only 13 people in the entire world who have not been affected, who are still themselves. One of them is Carol Sturka. She's a romance novelist living in New Mexico, and she's absolutely not interested in becoming part of humanity's new hive mind, which is what the others ultimately want to accomplish. They want to assimilate the remaining 13 people, but first they have to figure out a way how. So while the rest of the world is blissfully connected, Carol is not buying it, and she is determined to figure out if it can be reversed before they get to her. And the question this show keeps coming back to is, if the entire world is peaceful and happy, is Carol actually trying to save humanity, or is she the only one refusing to evolve? Carol's chaperone, Zosha, who is the representative that speaks for the hive that was kind of assigned to Carol, she claims that she's there to help Carol and ensure she has everything she wants or needs. And at first, Carol thinks she is real suspect. She doesn't trust her or the hive at all, until she figures out that they will pretty much give her anything she wants, wait on her hand and foot, and also that they are incapable of telling a lie. She requests to meet with some of the remaining people on Earth that are still like her, and we meet 5 of the other people in the second episode. Why only 5? She specifically requested to meet up with only the people that spoke English because apparently, after the joining happened, they explained that cell service and internet access were very limited. So I assumed that she'd have no other way of communicating with them if they didn't speak English. But hold that thought, we'll get back to that. Surprisingly, none of the 5 really see a problem with what happened, and some even want to join the others so they can be with their family members. It seems like they don't really understand that their family members are no longer their family members. Their individualities are gone. Kumba is one of the 5 she meets, and he seems to understand, but he doesn't give a damn because he's taking full advantage of the situation. He's kind of a charming sleazebag. So it appears Carol is on her own in her little quest to save humanity, until she meets Minosos, but that's not till later on in the season. Early on, she starts recording video messages and has them sent to all the normal people that are left, including the others that she didn't meet, in hopes that someone will eventually want to join her in taking down the hive. But she's not hearing back from anyone. She thinks no one is interested in helping her. And then she stumbles on something that she thinks will change everyone's mind. She finds out that the hive are recycling dead human bodies and consuming them in liquid form. They're actually drinking them in little milk cartons. Why, you ask? Because apparently these people are pacifists. They do no harm. They don't even kill animals for food or pick an apple off a tree. So they need to get the calories to survive somehow. It gets even more interesting when Carol discovered that when she wigs out, the entire hive has like a joint seizure. So everyone on Earth minus the 13 that were immune kind of go offline for a little bit. And that really disturbed them, so much so that they all left the city. They abandoned her, left her all alone, almost like they broke up with her. At first, she's like, good riddance. After a month or so, she gets really depressed and eventually asks them to come back. So she's experienced a couple of things here. After most of the people in the world are overtaken by this virus, including Carol's partner Helen, who ends up being collateral damage, she feels very lonely and scared, and she's also in mourning because she just lost the love of her life. She's then abandoned by the Hive, and I think she realizes that the loneliness she initially felt after the joining is nothing compared to the isolation that she felt when she was truly left all by herself. The Hive comes back, and she starts spending more time with them. Because remember, Zosha is one person physically, but they all share the same consciousness, so she's actually everyone on Earth, minus the ones that were immune. She ends up falling for Zosha, or everyone on Earth. It's a really weird concept to grasp, and starts to get really complacent. So she's just living her life, no longer concerned with the whole Hive thing. And that's partially because from what she was told, they don't have a way to force her to join them. Around the same time, Manosos, one of the 13 who lives in South America, is slowly making his way to New Mexico after he receives one of Carol's recordings. He really doesn't like the Hive. He has rejected every attempt that they've made to communicate with him and befriend him, so he is all for trying to find a way to reverse the joining. He is so determined to get to Carol that he treks through 60 miles of treacherous rainforest to get to her. They eventually meet, but at this point, she's having an all-out relationship with Zosha, or the Hive, or whatever you want to call it. So now she's having second thoughts. Manosos tells her straight up that it's either you get the girl or you save the world. It's at that point that she decides to go away on a little vacation with Zosha, and they're having fun, and it's all full of love and happiness and good times. And then she discovers that they have figured out a way to assimilate Carol into their Hive mind, and now it's only a matter of time till they have the ability to do it. So now she finally comes to her senses. She goes back home, she tells Manosos, let's go save the world. It was a great ending to season 1. I was very satisfied. I only have a couple of gripes about the storyline. So let's go back to the whole cell service and internet thing. Carol is told by the others that cell service is down, and I don't remember them explicitly saying that the internet was gone, but I thought it was implied because she went through the trouble of using a video camera to record messages to the other people that were immune, and had the Hive make copies of the memory cards for her and send out to all of them. I never saw her on a computer or on her cell phone, and the only time that she watched TV, it was The Golden Girls on DVD. But later on, when she goes to Las Vegas to speak with Kumba, he tells her that he and the other immune people meet almost weekly via Zoom. Excuse me? In the last episode, she's also using a translator app on her cell phone to communicate with Manosos because he doesn't speak English. She just whipped it out like it's worked this whole time. So why couldn't she just send her recordings via email to everyone instead of sending physical copies? She knew that the others were going to be watching her recordings. She even mentioned that they won't like these messages, but she also knew that they would feel obligated to send her recordings to the others to keep her happy, regardless of what was on them. And apparently, Manosos doesn't speak English. That's why he wasn't included in the initial meeting that Carol requested. But a few times while speaking with Carol, he seemed to understand and speak to her just fine. And that was without the translator app. It also bothered me that he actually survived the 60-mile trek through the rainforest. How long would it take to walk a regular 60 miles? All he had with him was a small backpack. He didn't have enough food and water in that little bag for 60 miles, much less 60 miles through the rainforest. He slipped and fell backwards right onto a tree with a bunch of 8-inch bacteria-infested spikes, and he was warned that just one prick from one of those spikes could kill him. But he survived. They warned him that the rainforest was filled with deadly wildlife, that it was too dangerous for him to get through, but he survived with just a machete and a plucky attitude. I do like Manosos, and it's obvious that they want his character to play a big part in season 2, but I think logically it would have been easier for me to accept his death in the rainforest. Like, he made it so far and then a small misstep and a spiky tree took him out at the last minute. It would have been, to me, bittersweet. But I guess I'm good with the ending that they gave us. I know, there's something wrong with me, but I don't care. If you watched Pluribus, let me know what you thought of it. I'm also interested in hearing any predictions that you may have for season 2. Till next time.